Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Twitch channel. I'm Reina Creole, and of course, with me is my co-host. Mm. How are you doing, my dear?
I am doing very well. How are you, Lorena?
I'm doing good, doing good. I know we missed last week. Totally my fault. I had to do something at Universal, but back here, so eager to do this watch party for the season one because the second season got greenlit, correct?
Yes, it did.
So can't wait to watch the season finale where we can finally find out what the heck is going on in Margrave. So I'm so excited to be here. So excited to do this with you.
I am excited, but it is bittersweet, Lorena. It means that we won't be seeing Alan Richton on a regular basis anymore, and I'm a little sad about that.
Well, I got a good substitute. Um, Alan Richson's Instagram.
Very good idea.
It is the daily dose of Alan Richson we didn't think we needed. I'm telling you, his Instagram feed blesses my life. So definitely, yeah. Check it
Wow. I
out. Check
will.
it out.
Certainly will.
Well, we're so glad those of you starting to filter in over here on Twitch. So, since we've been going for a while, do you want to tell the folks where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Positive Fandom. You can also find me on Twitch, Positive Fandom, one word. Of course, you can always find me streaming on Monday nights with Reina Creole on Toxic Femininity. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, you can find me on the 1/6 Scale Man Network, either on Say What or Uncivilized Scoundrels on Friday afternoons. I'm streaming with Tom and Andre on Midnight's Edge at 12 in the afternoon. And you can always find me on the Burnett Work, which you will find has changed its name to the Imagination Connoisseurs, with streaming with Robert Byron Burnett on Fridays, and
Really?
and recorded videos that I do on that channel as well. So check out the Imagination Connoisseurs, formerly known
Ah.
as the Burnett Work.
Okay, I was wondering because I came across some videos that had you on it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. She's doing videos now for it. She's a busy woman. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. She pops
Thank
up in
you,
my feed
Lorena.
with stuff to do. That is a really cool name. It really
Yes.
is.
Yes, it is. It's all Robert's creation, and he's the one who came up with the idea of the post-geek singularity. Although I
Hmm.
think that you and I don't look like geeks, but we are,
Nah,
right?
yeah, yeah. We keep fooling people, right?
We're
It's
geek imposters, right? We don't look like them, but we are geeks. So,
yes, we are. If you if test us if you want to, but don't be surprised if we put you to shame. But
that's right.
okay, so okay. Uh, as for me, of course, unfortunately, I had to miss toxic femininity
We missed you.
on
It's
Monday.
not the same without you. I have to say that.
I missed you, ladies. I missed you, ladies. But a cup of ramen noodles decided it was gonna give me food poisoning, and yeah, it
Oh,
was not. It was just not good. It was just not good. I was just green, totally green. I'm like, I don't even know where I am right now, So,
aw.
but I'm happy to be back on Monday because I missed you ladies so much. So much. Of course, folks, you can find me here on Twitch. You can also find me on YouTube, on Instagram at Reina Creole. And of course, the same thing on Twitter. So let's see. Up, that must be Terry Rose. I see you laughing. Thank you so much for joining us. Is that a red shirt in your avatar? Looks like the red shirt from Star Wars just absorbed.
I, I see the communicator. So I just want to,
Mhm.
Cherry Rose, are you there?
Are you there?
Yeah, Cherry Rose.
I'm in. I'm in. That's like the old school phaser hit where it's not on
Yes.
stun, it's actually on kill. And it's like so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. We'll say 2 weeks ago, we did a watch party for Reacher Said Nothing.
Yes, we certainly did. And we learned quite a lot in that episode. And we got some fantastic scenes of Alan Richton in different ways. He had another shower scene, which was great.
Hmm.
Um, we're seeing a lot of his physique. I mean, this show is actually a showcase of a man who is incredibly fit, incredibly strong, incredibly
Hmm.
intelligent, and incredibly tactful. So he has all these characteristics about him, and you can't discount, his smashing good looks.
No, absolutely, absolutely not. Because frankly, there's a certain demographic woo, who likes to see that. They
Absolutely.
they like
Absolutely. And I think that he can showcase that his ability in this show in a way that I don't think he could showcase in a lot of other places. I think it's great that we can see, a character that he can play this role in and plays it to perfection.
completely. It's just I didn't see the movies with Tom Cruise, but it's like to me, Alan Ritson is Jack Reacher. It's like he looks like him, he moves like him, he talks like him. It's just like I believe that that's exactly who this person is. Haven't read the books yet, but when I do read the books, I'm going to be picturing Alan Ritson. But it's the cool thing about this show and about Alan Ritson. It's like you have an actor and a script written that basically says it's okay for a man to be in extremely good shape because, contrary to some unpopular opinion, men do like to look at other men who are very much in shape. That's something that's admired. Women like looking at that too. So I like that the show acknowledges that because if you go by the ratings, yeah, they're doing gangbusters with this. Hey, Darth Megatron, I see you. He says aloha. I see all those gifs there. It's too darn funny.
It really is. And one other thing I wanted to mention, and you kind of did touch on this, is the idea of um, pretty much you and I have been discussing how much we've been enjoying seeing more what we would consider masculine roles in television and cinema. And we were
Hmm.
even looking at the idea of how important legacy roles are in that are masculine in television and cinema, and how
Hmm.
much they kind of have shaped a lot of things that we watch and do, but also how much enjoyment we get from watching it. And I have heard from a lot of people who aren't even looking at this episode necessarily at how, let's say, attractive Alan Richardson is, but just even, other elements of masculinity that we admire, like his heroism,
Hmm.
like his desire to do the right thing. All these other things that I associate with masculinity, and I'm sure you do as well, Lorena, are just so perfectly shown in this series.
It really is. It's shown not only just from how he is as an adult, but back to how he was as a kid. And not only that, even when their father was just like, like he's beside himself and upset, their mother, she's just like, I know you don't understand it now, but you did the right thing, and actually affirming that they did the right thing. And that's another thing that hasn't been shown a lot in entertainment of late, affirming boys for doing the right thing. And because they have like those traits of, being the protectors or doing the right thing. Even we'll say even the trait of aggression, but aggression channeled in the right way. Because if it wasn't for aggression, Reacher wouldn't have really stepped up to do, what he did. So it's like it's great to see, and it's like I said, some people are just like, I can't freaking believe this is on Amazon, but that's one of the things that is really making the show such a hit because it basically says it's okay to be a man. It's okay. It really is.
It does, and you'd mentioned that this production is by Skydance.
Yes.
Which you had also mentioned, actually has hired a lot of people who were former Disney employees, and I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
cream of the crop from a lot of other organizations. As we were seeing, such an upheaval and turmoil when it comes to the studios and the major employers of people who are in the arts in
Mm-hmm.
particular. So, I'm so glad that they brought this to fruition and that we're getting another season, and there's over 20 books. Lorena.
There's so much material, right?
Oh
So
gosh.
much source material to, to swim in. I freaking love it. They're great. Uh, hey, Keck44, so glad you are here. Says howdy,
Hi.
howdy, howdy. Wow, Twitch notification arrived first.
Oh,
Really?
well.
Nice. Thank you, Twitch. Oh, glad to hear that. Well, glad you're here. Glad all of you are here watching
Mhm.
here on Twitch. So, we are going to go ahead and get started with the episode 8, which is the series finale. I mean, season finale. Oh, Lord, I didn't mean to give people a heart attack. Season 1
Mhm.
finale, aptly titled Pie. Wonder
Will
if
he
Reach
find
is he going to actually get to eat it?
we're both thinking the same thing at the same time.
And you know what? It's a part of good writing by the simple fact that we think that just from looking at the title. Is he actually going to get to eat a piece of pie? I mean, the fact that we still care about that episodes in is it's just something else. But to catch everybody up because I'm going to have to start this again.
Mhm.
At the end of episode 7, of course, we found out Picard isn't who we thought he was, and he's right there along with Teal and KJ,
Colonel
right?
Sanders?
Yeah, Teal, like yeah, Colonel Sanders. Yeah, I forgot to call him that. And here's crazy
Um,
ass KJ.
mhm. Sorry. And they are actually holding Finley prisoner,
Yes.
and it's not a good situation.
Now, so we're at minute 125.
Okay.
Mhm.
They don't like that Reacher knows so much about the operation, do they?
No, they have taken a lot of precautions and spilled a lot of blood for people not to know about this.
Oh, this is so shocking, Lorena, to hear this news, um, that he would do something like this to his own father. So now we've just found out that he killed his own father. It's heartbreaking.
It's like if he can kill his own father.
Oh no.
Okay, he just sealed his death warrant with that.
I can't even. And now, of course, we found out that he is the murderer of Joe Reacher.
Yes.
I don't know how the hell. I mean, he has a gun pointed at him, but I don't know how the hell he's able to just like even stand still at this point. Because I would be like bawling on the floor, crying, and all messed up.
That is crazy amount of mental control
Hmm.
for him not to kill them. Plus Hubble is also his family is also in it too.
Goodness gracious.
This guy, and this is what makes a proper like hero story. It's only as good as if the villain just seems absolutely just invincible. Although you laugh when you've kind of been laughing looking at KJ, but when you see how unhinged he is, that he whacked his own father,
Nothing is worth that. I just, even if his father was not so nice of a person, why? Like, it doesn't, it's so weird.
it is. But for him, but for him, he's like,
Oh,
yeah, they
you're
tried to send me to an institution, and that tells
right.
you.
Yeah, really. And here we are again in the diner, Lorena. Oh dear.
All right, well. You're drawing Megatron? Cool. This is not a drawing robot. I'm cracking up the fact that he's using a crayon. Hmm.
I gotta try this.
What?
This method that he uses in order to track down someone.
Mm-hmm. Right. I heard that qualifier if a man is halfway decent, he just want to abandon his family.
Hmm.
Yeah. Remember we saw the golf clubs?
It's going on right now, as a matter of fact, right?
Yeah. Coincidence?
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come on, you know you can't take them. I'm sorry.
Cannot. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I guess you didn't get it that time either, huh? Aw. I would have
Dang,
slid the plate in my
doing
pocket
it.
or something.
I would too. I would have taken that. I put it. Oh, that's smart. Took the fork, stabbed it in the tire. Who would have seen it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that either. Oh, God.
This is this dude. I hope he dies horribly.
Finley doesn't even deserve this. He hasn't done anything to anybody. You know, he's
No,
always been a nice guy. This is like too much now. Just
he's a
lock him up and leave him alone.
yeah. It's like he's a pompous ass, but but they just
That's
like, ugh.
messed up. That's messed up. They shouldn't have done that to him. We should check it. Keep driving.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Don't
know.
pull the car over, bro.
Don't pull the
Don't let him
car
do
over,
it. Once that car stops. Yep. No
bruh.
reunions. So he's going to let him go outside of the car solo?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You and I both know that's a bad idea.
Completely.
A
And it's funny because the viewers know it's a bad idea too. But he did think that through.
mm-hmm.
You didn't think about that, did you? Mm, well,
Ain't no way he's going to
you
outthink
know they're both
Rico.
lying.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You can't outthink them. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. They almost sound like two guys who did a robbery. Now they got to figure out how, where they're going to go because they're on the run or something.
Mm-hmm. Where are we gonna go? No, we can't go there. Can't do that. Don't think about leaving me. I can't leave. You got the money.
And I know the combination.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Reach is going to
I don't
pound you
believe
into
this.
the ground. You just got punked.
That right there. Ah,
Yep.
well, just standing here doing nothing. Yeah, I'll leave you out there. Oh, that's right. He in that nice Bentley.
So he's trying to find the accountant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess he inflated that tire real good.
He probably just changed it, maybe. I have no idea what he did, but
Yeah.
knowing him, he was able to make some kind of concrete out of bubble gum and sand or something. Just plug the hole.
Yeah. You look like crap.
Wow.
Hey, Dad Man walking. Oh, great. The
Hi.
mayor I used to like. Oh, good to see you.
Mhm.
He's so condescending when he talks to people.
I wonder if that's what's going to happen to him. Sometimes they say that
Mm.
you'll end up such and such, and that's where they end up.
The no-tell motel. He's not that good at this. Poor guy.
Yeah, he has to realize that now, and I'm surprised he didn't realize that when what he witnessed in South America. He should have known that.
Mm-hmm. I think he was just so deep, so attracted by the money, he didn't even think about that his family could be dragged into this too.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh.
So jobbing them too.
I see.
Yep. Shows you how crazy he is. Yeah. I like that humor break in there because it's such a heavy, heavy scene that you gotta kind of loosen up a little bit.
Uh.
Oh.
He can afford it. Yeah, uncuff him. Come on, this is bull crap.
Hmm.
He doesn't even care. This guy, he's just like just counting the days till retirement. Is that what it is? Like he doesn't care.
He does it because
Oh,
he's
ducking.
oh, uh,
Ah, ah,
that's what that means.
ah. Now that was a great scene.
That was good.
Goodness gracious.
Not so tough now, are you?
Mm-hmm. Duck and cover. I love it.
Yeah. You, on the other hand, you didn't expect to die, did you?
It's the last thing he sees before he dies. I
Uh
love
huh.
it.
And you just hear that death rattle go. It's like, yeah, my face. You didn't expect that to happen, did you?
That's right. I love it.
There he is.
Riding up, riding up. You know what I mean? He's like riding up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, you know, like. Oh goodness gracious!
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I know that threw me off too. Picard. I keep thinking, expecting to see Patrick Stewart. Crazy.
You called for assistance.
Oh, I love this getting kitted up scene. There's weapons all
Hell
over the
yeah!
place.
Hell yeah! It's Neely.
I love Neely.
You can hear the Call of Duty music.
Yes.
Yeah, where's your girl? Oh.
Everything goes down at the barbershop.
While y'all here, why don't you put your name down for an appointment next week? Mhm.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dad, man. We sure do appreciate it.
The accountant does seem a little different right now. Like he's not as helpless as he seemed before.
Hmm.
He's got more of a like, get it together, man, get it together. Like look on his face.
I know. He just looks like he's just, gone through the ringer, on the run. Things are just crazy. Like he's been through a lot and it shows on his face. He's just not as naive in the beginning. He's like, okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Pointed down range. That's what to say.
I never liked doing this. I've seen a bazillion guys do this all the time, and I'm like, no, don't do that. You're gonna get some of this stuff in your mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
siphoning the gas.
yeah. Like, no, don't do it. You're
It's
gonna,
like, ooh, did that.
yeah, you're gonna get it. Okay,
Like I heard people do that, but ew.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Ooh.
Yeah.
Coming
Yeah.
from him, that's a huge compliment.
I love it. I love it. Even though Finley is not as buff as Reacher, he's got a different kind of strength, and I love it. The fact that he
Mhm.
could just throw it back and insult Reacher and take it as much as he can give it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go.
One, two.
Yep. Yep. Oh, he just gave himself away.
That's right. Done.
Yep.
Ooh. Man, those stabbing scenes, I just,
I know they purposely make you queasy.
yeah. Yeah, we know that's the one thing that money cannot survive.
Fire.
Right. That is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That means that you will have to shoot people, young man.
Yes,
Your family's in there. Remember that.
you do. You know, he relished that drag so much.
Are we gonna just the honesty of it all? He's
I
not.
know, and they're great.
Oh, gosh.
Like I have no idea, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Mhm. That's Reacher knocking.
But she
Knock,
know.
knock, knocking on
But
that
she
door.
know. She know a man is here going to mess some stuff up. Because you know Colonel Sanders can't move.
No, no. You can do it. You can do it. I was rooting for this for the of course Reacher and Finley. I know how they know how to handle themselves, but
Mhm.
the other guy, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be okay. He can do this. He can find his. You know what I mean? Like
I
I'm rooting for
know. Because Hubble is like, okay, just remember your job.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Oh,
running shots are incredibly hard to do.
ooh. There's so many places you can shoot from in here.
Yeah, it's a real maze in going up and around the corner and just everything about it. Go, Paul. Go, Paul. Shoot the freaking door, Paul.
Come on, open
Yes.
it
I'm
up.
sorry. I'm just getting excited.
Just like,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, because he said he never fired a gun before.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's fatherly protective instinct that double tapped that dude in the head.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people are like, why didn't he go get his wife? I'm like, no, he's got to get the kids out first, people. And you know that's the
Yeah.
truth. The children take priority. That's just
Mhm.
how it is.
Yeah.
Even the mother is like, thank God.
Just like, just get the kids out. Just get
Yeah.
the, it's like, I can't, as long as the kids are in trouble, I'm going to be hysterical.
That's right.
I love it. He is picking them off. Why Finley look like Rambo in there?
Yeah, he does. All he needs is a tie around his head or
I
something.
know.
And he's like, I gotta give Roscoe a gun. She's
Yeah, there we
just
go.
too damn good. I gotta give her a gun too.
Like, let me look at you briefly. You don't know who you messing with.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. She's like, screw this punching.
Amateur night. But that is so believable because she's a combat vet.
Yes. And she's like, I'm not going to be punching this guy. I can't punch this guy. I've got to take him down with a bullet.
Mm-hmm. And here's this punk Picard. No, your mom.
See, that's the thing that Picard, if he had any class, would have said, look, it's a dirty place. You don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's corrupt as
Yeah.
F. Don't come down here. And Finley would not have come down there. You know, it's like a friend would tell you, you know, just don't, no, you don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm. But he went.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. How are we going to keep beating up on Finley now?
God damn. Well, he doesn't really want to beat him up, but he has to. It's almost like I don't want to have to beat my friend up, but
He's probably angry that he has to.
I wouldn't want to get around this slobbering old guy, this gross freaking guy.
Nasty.
Ew.
She just needs a chain to put around his neck like Jabba the Hutt.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Okay, this is that Terminator moment, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. A combination between Terminator and Total Recall.
Yeah. Well, she dealt with him.
Yeah, I'm a chain you right. I don't even think about it. He ain't gonna stop. He will. He will because he's stupid. He's stupid. Shoot him. There you go.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Shot him right through his eye. Well, Colonel Sanders is no more.
No. This is such a good looking and fun scene to watch. It really
Oh,
is.
yeah. There's just so much going on and just loose ends being wrapped up. It's great. Yeah. It's all right. He'll be all right. All right.
It's all his fault, right, Lorena? It's all his fault.
It's all his fault.
I mean, his father was corrupt, but
he decided he didn't like what his dad was doing, and he decided to lose his crap and start killing people.
Crazy.
Now we're boss level here.
He's gonna start with a smack talk, right?
Yeah, the Bond villain speech. You see, Bond, just kill him. Don't talk. Just kill him. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of animal feed.
That's a ton of animal feed. Oh my gosh. Finally, he gets a chance to do something with that feed he's been talking about all, pretty much for a few episodes almost.
Mm-hmm. Like, what is it with you and animal feed? That's a lot of animal feed.
Really?
And we saw it when they went to Kleiner Industries,
Mhm.
just up there on the wall. You weren't looking, were you?
You're about to get pounded, kid. He's gonna pound you. Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
like how he's kicking his ass on some money.
Yeah. All right, so someone did end up in one of these vats.
Mm-hmm. KJ just didn't expect for it to be him.
Ugh,
You're gonna set your ass on fire. How you
she's
like that?
ugh. That is a horrific death.
Okay, dude, you're gonna have to get out.
It's the
Oh,
slow down warehouse scene.
I love this shot. This is the action shot. Can he walk away from an explosion?
$100 bills flying all over the place.
And there you go. Fire and money. Counterfeit bills found everywhere.
Mhm,
And Reacher makes it out just like Neely said he was gonna do.
mhm.
Yeah, I love this. That's exactly how that should end.
Mhm.
Oh, daisies in a Coke bottle. That's so sweet. Back in Chicago, take it sleazy. There you go. Burner phone.
Mm. He sure does look good in a
Ooh, got the
uniform.
dress blues on. Whew.
Is this the first time we're seeing his brother as an adult? Yeah, he looks
Mm-hmm.
good too. Shoot.
Both look good. And as big as he is, he's still telling him, you don't cry.
Mhm.
Oh,
Aw,
come to your
he's
mother.
boys, come here. Aw.
He's just trying to hold it together.
Mom always knows.
Yes. Mom knows everything. Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Oh my gosh. Imagine how affirming that is when you hear that. Oh, and her hands are shaking. A handmade hanky. I haven't seen one of those in years. I love this so freaking much.
Oh my God, he looks good in that uniform. I'm
I know.
sorry.
It looks delicious.
Whew.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was so many emotions all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Whew.
God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd make you turn into a total girl. Go ahead. Sorry. It's like, hey. On a Clark bar. There you go.
Mhm.
He's like, that may not be such a bad idea after all. Everybody's all dinged up. I love it. I love this scene. The comfortable silence. There's the dog.
Hey, doggy. A tweet. Oh my God, it. It's just too good.
I love it. Dog looks good though.
Yeah. All right, we're back in the diner.
Is he gonna get that peach pie? Finley's still in a triple breasted suit, spinning his wedding ring on the table.
Mhm. He read you.
Mm-hmm.
Finley read you.
Like a book. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I love them too still. It's back. Hmm. True. Mm-hmm. Your name. Give the dog's name. Mm-hmm.
Ah, finally.
Is he? You know how long you've been trying to eat this pie? For a week and a half. How good is it? You would have thought he was going to say, "This is the best peach pie I've ever had." It's like, I've had better.
Now this is where his brother was killed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he should very basically give his brother, his grandfather's medal for bravery. Mm-hmm.
And now that we know that the accountant actually called the authorities, it does change my opinion about him quite a lot, knowing that he would do something like that. So that's how Joe got involved in all of this.
Mm-hmm. He's just walking down the road like this. No, that and hitchhiking. People don't do this anymore, really. Well, what a season finale this has been.
I have to say, you are not the same after watching this series.
You really can't.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
This was I would say your classic um season finale. You want something that is going to blow your mind, tie up the loose ends, possibly in a way that you didn't expect, but you get to see like all that conflict, the resolution of the conflict and the final showdown between the antagonist and the protagonist. Of course, we have KJ and Reacher, and just how that went down in in the warehouse. And I swear they pulled out so many different action movie tropes in there, and it worked extremely well. I'm just like, leaves you kind of very satisfying at the end. At the end, what would you say? Mm.
Very much so. I mean, that warehouse scene, everybody played a role, and that was something that was a little different from the book, from what I remember.
Really?
Is that apparently Reacher was the sole person, I think, going in the book, and they
Hmm.
decided to change it to, this entire team kind of responding to this emergency. And I really liked that they decided to do that because everybody had a stake in what was going on.
Hmm.
There wasn't anyone who wasn't affected, and each person had a strength and weakness. For example, as I mentioned to you before, I was surprised to find out that the accountant was the person who started the federal investigation by calling the helpline, which contacted Joe Reacher and got
Hmm.
him there to Margrave. So, we find out that that had happened. And I'm sure that his brother was contacted about a year ago, right? This is a big case.
Hmm.
And then, through the entire investigation, we learned that there's a number of different police officers who were investigating this. There were professors who were looking at this whole, economic
Hmm.
situation. The lady who was at the police precinct who had said, the one thing that's different about American currency is that they're all the same size, and what the weaknesses there. And
Hmm.
also the idea of let's say some of the police officers who were in the precinct, like Roscoe's guardian, who had all those files, and he said he figured maybe we could use this one day. Tried and true, he kept that stuff at the barbershop.
Hmm.
And it's very interesting, the idea that everybody worked together to solve this crime, but they needed Reacher to kind of do certain things that might have been out of position for them. It's not
Hmm.
normal to go after trained killers. It's not an everyday interaction. Even the regular police aren't doing stuff like that. Maybe they'll have an altercation with someone, but to have
Right.
people of that experience, assassins, trained assassins, it's not commonplace, but Reacher knows how to handle them. And we saw time and time again that, he was able to figure out situations and, just really kind of work this case, which was not easy to solve at all.
No. No, it's extremely astute observation. I love it. It's yeah, but it's like you're right. It's there's so many pieces. And there were so many pieces in orbit. And then Reacher is kind of like the catalyst that starts to kick off figuring out just how all these things are related. So it's fascinating, to watch.
Yeah, and I one thing that puzzles me, first of all, this story for me is absolutely perfect. I'm not criticizing any bit of this this let's say teleplay or screenplay or whatever you want to call it for this
Mhm.
television series. I am not criticizing any bit of it. What I find interesting is the fact that Picard, after having been contacted by Finley,
Mhm.
does tell his friend, don't take the job, but doesn't properly warn him and say, this place is messed up, bro. They're corrupt. It's going to be bad. They're going to abuse you. You don't want to come to this. to say don't take it, I almost wonder how far he went with that warning. And I almost, it's like, does a warning like don't take it speak volumes, or is it good enough for a situation where he pretty much is like walking into the lion's den of corruption? I mean, what do you think, Lorena?
Hmm. Could be one of two things. It could be don't go down there because you're gonna hate it. It's not for you. And the other one might have been don't come down there because I don't want you to find this out about me. You know, because when we first met Picard, he seemed pretty much, on the up and up. But to have somebody who he knows now all of a sudden mixed up in what he's mixed up in, and he's obviously, a dirty FBI agent. It's like you don't want your friends finding out what you're involved in. So I don't know if he kind of tried to say, don't come down here, don't come down here. I could tell, you don't want to, and he probably ran out of excuses. Probably like, okay, well, okay, if he takes this job, who's to say that our paths are ever going to cross? And the thing that made their paths cross was Jack Reacher showing up. Hmm.
Absolutely. It really was quite a thing for him. And, I think Picard thought he had everything all figured out. And I think he was willing to go all the way, as we saw, even to
Hmm.
kill Finley, if he got too much in the way, as we witnessed.
Right.
And we also have Neely, who was another character that kind of joined a little bit later in the series, but added some more support for Reacher. And I
Hmm.
thought she was perfect. I think that an introduction of him having a friend, who has his back no matter what, was really important to the story.
Hmm. I agree because it brought someone in who knows him, who knows who he is. Because from the beginning, we of course know who Reacher is, you know, but as for like say the rest of the town, they don't know who he is. They've never met him before. Finley and Roscoe are only starting to get to know who he is, but then you bring in Neely, who has known him from quite some time and has known him from being in the military in the same unit with him, also, as a MP. That's like excuse me, that's like someone vouching for you. So it kind of says, okay, well, if he's worked with her for years, okay, that lends some credibility to who the character is. And also someone else to bounce off observations about Reacher, with. They're kind of like, okay, well, if he's worked with you for that long, how is he, actually?
And I loved how, when they were investigating a little bit more about the Kleiner Corporation, and they met up with those two cops, and they end up in the cop car, and how they handle that situation. Like, I wouldn't have known what to do, but it was, even when they were telling the other cop, and I can understand, like, he was not expecting his partner to pull a gun on him. That was the
No.
last thing he was expecting. He didn't know what to do. And
Mm-mm.
even, his partner who was holding the gun didn't know what to do. But the pressure of all of this, having Reacher and Neely in the back seat, kind of like telling the other guy, shoot him, shoot him, And of course, it didn't work out that way. But they were like, damn this, we're not going out like this. He was very foolish, and didn't realize who he had in the back seat of his car. Even the way they handled that, and just kind of like got out of the water, went, got a bin for more clothes, went about their
Mhm.
way. I would be shaken. I'd probably like be at home for a month trying to get over this thing. But they were just, and she said, you don't mess with like the special police or something like that, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you certainly do not.
You
um,
don't.
yeah, it was unbelievable. The other thing I really liked was how, and as I said before, the accountant, we know that his intentions were good now, because he probably tipped them off, like I said, probably about a year ago, and met
Mhm.
up with Joe, but he couldn't tell anybody. Like, he wasn't going to tell anybody, even Joe's brother. He was not going to say anything. and it's okay. Like I think he did the right thing. Do I think it was right that he decided to go to prison? Yes, because we saw how people were dropping like flies, Lorena. So he knew the one place that he might be safe could possibly be in prison. You know, like he knew that people can just walk in there. He knew that he could get hit in
Mm-hmm.
there, but he was with Reacher. So I
Right.
thought it was very interesting. And I wondered why he wanted to go to that prison. But the other thing that I really loved was how Reacher, after he retrieved him, gave him the gun and he said, "Look, don't let anything get between you and what you have to do." And it's like he needed to hear that because he's not going to know, he doesn't do this sort of stuff every day. He's not going to know that it's
Mm-hmm.
either you or them. And it could essentially mean that your family's going to die. It was that level of, concentration and experience, but he needed to hear that from Reacher. He needed to hear
Mm-hmm.
that.
I agree. And one of the other things, I mean, we talk about Alan Richardson's character, we talk about Reacher all the time and how great he is. I think one of the best sub stories in here is Paul Hubble. How we see him in the beginning, like why is he copping to murder, so easily? Then it's like, why is he abandoning his family, And then Reacher finally catches up with him at the no-tell motel, and dude looks like he has just been through absolute hell when it came down to the fact that he's like, I have to protect my family. And Reacher tells him, don't let anything get between you and what you have to do. You have to save your family. And it's like he obviously is not Reacher, but the simple fact that Reacher knows that inside of him he's going to be able to do this, I think that's what gives him the confidence to do what he has to do. So he's kind of like the everyman in a way. He did the right thing. He had the courage to do the right thing, even though, it took him away from his family. And in the beginning, it made him look like a complete and total weasel. They're like, oh my gosh, he's like, he did all this bad stuff. He abandoned his family, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, he wound up doing what he was supposed to do, which is save his family. So I think that was a very excellent character, to put in there, because he probably thought, I can't do anything. And then he meets Reacher and he's like, okay, he's pretty cool. He saved me in prison, so hmm. Somebody in a way, he does look up to him. He does. So when he tells him, you can do
Yes.
this, just take the gun, extend it, and fire. That's all you can do. All you
Hmm.
gotta do. And when they thought they were gonna shoot his two girls, what did he do? Shot that dude in the head through glass. Didn't even blink.
That's right. That's right. And I'm so proud of him.
I know, right? And I was like, you go.
Yeah, I'm
You
so
go.
proud.
He was kind of like skittish a
Yeah.
little bit, but
Yeah.
when he realized that his girls were in danger of being
Mhm.
did not hesitate. Did
Yeah.
not hesitate
He's tougher
whatsoever.
than he looks.
He is, and I think it's because of the situation. It's interesting how different situations make you react that way. Yeah, and he was primed for it. Hey, BK Panther says, hello,
Right.
ladies. Darn, I guess I missed it. Oh, well, you can watch the replay, but we're glad you're
Yes.
here, BK Panther. So thankful for the six of you guys, watching
Yes.
here. So
Thank
do
you.
so do appreciate that.
And yeah, the uniform.
Oh God, wasn't that delicious?
It was so delicious. It was so good, Lorena. It was just such a joyous moment. Um, thank you, Skydance. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, that was yeah.
That was lovely to see. I think that's probably. I still like the suit,
Hmm.
but to see him in full like dress, uh, army dress blues
Hmm.
was fabulous to see, because yes, women like a man in uniform. They do.
Yes, yes,
They
we do.
do.
Absolutely.
They do. And plus it fit perfectly with
Mhm.
when his mother gave him, her grandfather's war medal. for Brady. So it just seemed perfect that that's how he got it. Again, in the hand stitched hanky. That's
Yes.
a detail that I don't think a lot of people realize, because now, of course, so many things are like manufactured, you know, like overseas, and they bring it over here. But like my grandmother had stuff like that where they were handmade and they were very precious, heirlooms. So the fact that she had her grandfather's her father's war medal wrapped up in there, I just thought that that was an interesting and historical touch. I would say that's what it was wrapped in. I guess that was just, I guess, like his mother's, and she was dying. That was heartbreaking to see. He comes in to see her and she's like, "How are you doing?" She's like, "I'm dying, you silly boy." Just maintaining that motherly humor that she has.
Hmm. And the other interesting part was they found out that the mother knew about that when they defended that boy. And
Hmm.
I'm sure, perhaps maybe not at that moment, but all those years he felt a little guilty that his father had to be reassigned and all this sort of stuff. But now knowing that the parents knew about it and they were actually proud of how he behaved, that was very interesting for them to find out at that moment.
Hmm. Kind of was. It actually really was. And I think, because in the back of my head, I was thinking, well, how come they never told them that they knew? And I think that perhaps it was one of those lessons that the parents wanted them to learn, is that life isn't always fair. And if you do the right thing, you're not always going to get, rewarded for it. You're not always going to get treated as a hero for it. So you have to kind of understand and hear what that cost is. So it's like, okay, so it's like if Reacher didn't understand, okay, here's the risk. If I do the right thing, it could backfire on me, but at least I know that I did the right thing. And to find out that they were like, especially that you protected someone who couldn't protect themselves.
Yes.
That even so, it's just like that is like the ultimate, in like the ultimate hero behavior, protecting those who are the most vulnerable, you know, among us. So that was that was wonderful. And I think that's the reason why Reacher just could not, I don't know what, I would say a little bit of both. One, that his mother was dying, and two, that he's probably not going to see her. I mean, they don't say so in the series, and I don't know if they say it eventually in the books. Don't know if that's the last time that he saw her alive. But was that the last thing that she told him before she died, that, yeah, I know you did the right thing. We knew exactly why you did what you did. And it probably was just like so touching. And Joe's like in the car saying, "Okay, now you can cry."
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It was just so beautiful, such a beautiful moment. Oh, goodness. Yeah.
It was like, yeah, my mom's proud of me. She stood by me even knowing, you know, that I could get punished for it, but they knew the real reason why.
Oh, my
Ugh,
goodness.
I loved it. I loved it. Ugh, and that whole what did you think of that whole ending scene? Well, first of all, starting to kind of like how things wrapped up. You notice certain loose ends were getting wrapped up in that scene in the warehouse. You had Finley versus Picard, and then you had Roscoe versus the Colonel Sanders. I keep calling him Colonel Sanders. Then, of course, you have KJ versus Reacher. What did you think of how those were wrapped up?
I think it was perfectly done. Each of them had baggage from, the very beginning with one another. And we
Hmm.
needed to see each of those situations resolved. And these guys were out for blood. They weren't necessarily, it wasn't sort of like a petty squabble. This was serious stuff. And they've been killing people in Margrave left and right to get this stuff done. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, honestly, I think that, only God knows how big this web of an operation is. And you and I have speculated that it probably goes all the way to the top. But
Yeah.
something that I find interesting is that, I was trying to figure out at what point, because it seemed like the police officers were all being taken out by the, let's say these gangsters or
Mm-hmm.
assassins. And at what point would I think you and I both thought that not Finley, Kleiner Sr. was killed by one of these assassins, to learn that it was his own son who killed him, and that the son was also the person who had killed Reacher, really bothered me, because I almost wondered whether Kleiner was maybe starting to talk to the feds now. What if he was? This is something that we don't know and might have been happening. Perhaps he, is, a criminal, but
Mm-hmm.
perhaps he switched sides and started to cooperate with Joe. We don't know. There's so
True.
much that, was kind of undiscovered, and I'm sure the investigation will reveal that. I'm sure a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the paperwork that Joe had information like this, but I have to wonder about it. Perhaps there was something else about the operation that we were unaware of, and that involvement,
Mm-hmm.
and who's to say? Um, and I wonder if they'll be coming back for the rest of the stash they're waiting for. Is
Mm-hmm.
Margrave even safe now? Like, what's going to happen, to this town? Um, it's just an incredible result. But I still am curious, and they did mention that the feds were in town, and
Mm-hmm.
the feds couldn't kind of brush this under the rug anymore.
Right.
This was just too big, and too well known by now, those townspeople who
Mm-hmm.
they're not the quiet kind of townspeople, are they?
No, not a small southern town. Oh no. Everybody's talking.
And
Everyone's talking.
you just know they're at that town hall right now,
Mm-hmm.
like, someone's got to do something, like, and Roscoe's like, I will do everything I can to get this town up and running again. I can see her
Mm-hmm.
right now. We're going to, investigator Finley is here with us. He's going to stick around so that we can get
Mm-hmm.
things back in working order.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll even have to have the feds in town for a little while this is all sorted out and trying to figure out, what's going on. But, I think it's funny that the man who owns the barbershop had had Reacher figured out from kind of day one, when he was like, "What are you looking for? Vengeance?" And he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
like revenge, whatever it was. But make sure you come back for a haircut
Good.
now." But he had
It's
it figured out, and I had not
mhm.
realized, Lorraine, of course, that he also was keeping something there for Roscoe. So he
Mhm.
was more than just, what we thought, wasn't it?
Exactly. We just thought, he's just this country, barber trying to protect his business. And it turns out that he's sitting on a serious amount of incriminating evidence, you know, that he was entrusted to protect. No one would think, to look there. No
Mhm.
one would think so. He's just unassuming, dude. Kind of like the lady who, I guess, when she dies, they figure out that she's rich because she's had like all the money hidden in the floorboards, but she dressed like really, really cheaply, and nobody thought she had anything. And then when she dies, and they read the will, everyone's got all this money. She was just unassuming.
Absolutely. And, there certainly was a little bit more to the town than met the eye.
Hmm.
And of course, they had to be secret about it, because they knew that something was wrong. And, it had probably been a few years since they were doing this sort of work, and
Hmm.
had seen signs of different things. And perhaps Roscoe's guardian knew that they were going to come for him. And so he couldn't
Yeah.
tell Roscoe, because if he told Roscoe and she knew,
Hmm.
they might have killed her right away. So
Yeah.
to keep her sort of, not having the information was the safest thing he could do to protect her.
Hmm. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. BK Panther said there is an interview with Alan Ritson. He said if he had a choice on what the second season would be, he would go in order of the books. The next one is Die Trying. That very well may be the case. I just wanted to make the second season, so it'll be interesting which one they choose. But I my guess is they'll probably go with whatever one Lee Childs advises them to do if they're smart, which I believe that they are. It's Skydance, so I really think they're going to pay attention to what Lee Childs would want to do. But I trying, I may have to put that one on my list to my list to read next. It's such an exciting series. I was excited to find out there were books about it, so I'm probably going to be reading up on that one sometime soon. But I'm telling you, this series, I'm so glad you recommended it. So glad we did a watch party for it. I really cannot think. Yes, I can, because I always say, "Well, what's something that you didn't like?" You could have had him in a suit for a bit longer. You know that that would have been that would have been nice.
It would have been nice. I think they just gave us a small taste, a little
Yeah.
morsel
Hmm.
of that. And like I've always said, it wasn't devoid of romance. I think having romance, having a sex scene in a story is important. Growing up, we saw movies that always had a sex scene, no matter what the movie was about. It's kind of important because it does really kind of ground the film a little bit, for at least for me. And
Hmm.
for a character like this, I don't want to think of him as being by himself without a relationship, without being able to connect with someone intimately. And I think it kind of needed that. There needed to be that connection that he had, let's say, to the town, almost to the daughter of one of the founders of the town.
Hmm.
And now he has an even greater stake in the story. But he clearly is a man who likes romance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Sorry, my brain like went somewhere for a minute.
no, it's all good. It's all good.
That's good, but he does. Like even when even when KJ tries to clown him, and he just basically said the last time someone eyed me up like that was a woman in a bar in Panama.
Mhm. I bet she did. I bet she was like,
So,
I'm gonna have him.
oh yeah, oh yeah, she did. She did.
But yeah, this really was an extraordinary series. As far as I'm concerned, it's now April, and for me, it's the best series of the year. I don't know what the rest of the year is going to bring.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful stories in store, but this one really, I think, you know what? What's the rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Do we know? Do we know what it is?
Um, I can
Before we
find
end the stream,
out.
let's just take
I
a
can
look.
find out.
It's enough time after it premiered in January. This premiered in January. And let's just see what that Rotten Tomatoes score is
Yeah,
to give
let's
ourselves
check
an
this
idea about
out.
what everyone else might have thought about the Rangers series.
Yeah, because this series, oh,
I
man,
should have
do I
asked you in
tell you.
advance, and I'm sorry for putting you on the
Oh
spot.
no, 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 not at all. Check it out. So let's see here. Yeah,
Wow.
90% to 90%, and this is amazing because I don't think I've seen both critics, well, at least on the high scales, like on the low scale, on the high scale of like the critics and the audience score being that high and that close.
Yeah, I agree as well. This is something that I'm very pleased to see. And you know, personally, I think that it makes sense to see a score like this
Mhm.
because it just really was such an incredible series. This is certainly not a series that was lacking in any way. Oh, and BK Panther, Lorena,
Mm.
he has a message here as well.
Okay. IMDb has an 8.2 with 88K voters. Wow.
Wow.
That just really proves that there is something in this for everybody. For everybody. It really is for both men who are watching it, for both women who are watching it. they went really smart with this because they could have went purely just pure action, which I would have loved anyway. But they know their audience. They know their audience. They know that they need a true hero character that men want to be and women want to be with.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
So that
Yes.
that just proves that they really do. They know exactly who their audience is and who's gonna watch this because we've been on streams where we've brought this series up and they were like, "What series is that? I haven't heard of that before. Haven't heard of that before. What Reacher? What? What? Really?" And no one seems that interested in. And then if you're a woman and you start saying, "Well, I watched it and it was really good. Alan Ritson is hot." Then all of a sudden the antennas go up. Oh, okay, I guess I better go watch the show then. There are a lot of guys who I know who got hooked on this show because
Mhm.
women were talking about it.
Yes, and, that's absolutely a statistic that I'd love to find out about, honestly, because, I just wanna know, because Hollywood is, or at least let's say the, production people are always trying to capture, the female gaze or and get female viewers. We already know Bridgerton, knew exactly what to do to get
Oh
us to
yeah.
watch. And honestly, I think that this show knew exactly what to do to get us to watch.
Oh yeah, they knew. I was trying to explain to someone the difference between audiences when you have like say Bridgerton and Reacher. Okay, so Bridgerton is marketed strictly towards women. Totally towards women. But they know their audience. That's the type of audience that they want to go for. With Reacher, they knew that they had to appeal to both, but at the same time make it an unapologetically masculine action series, which is exactly what they did.
It really
And
is, and I also have to say I also liked the music that they chose. Of course, Reacher is a fan of the blues, but they also had, the Rolling Stones,
mhm,
which, their music is kind of timeless, but it
yeah.
did capture the that feeling that I get, or at least what I think about Reacher. It really
Mhm.
had that kind of, I don't even know how to say it, but it truly did match how I felt that Reacher, might, the attitude at least, or at least the circumstances of how it was. Even, like at points where he was in front of the hotel and these four, drunk, high school kids got $200 to go beat him up. And Roscoe's like, "Oh no, they're gonna get killed," and they're like, "Are you Reacher?" And he's like, "Why don't you boys run along, before you get yourselves hurt?" And they're like, "We're gonna hurt you,"
No. And
Yeah.
you're just watching us just like, "This is not gonna go the way that you think it's going to." He's like, "There's there's 4 of us." He's like, "Oh, one of you has to drive the rest of them to the hospital."
And one guy's like, "I can drive. I know how to drive. Let's
Mhm.
get out of here." But it was
God.
just so many moments of just enjoyment, even from something like that, where you knew what was going to happen. And then there were also terrifying moments. It had a lot in it. Lorena, this had a lot in it.
It really did, and I'm so glad it wasn't a movie. I'm glad that it was a series because it really felt like there was enough time given to tell the whole entire story and to kind of take some different liberties with the story. Because, like, from what you were saying from the books, in the climax scene, it was just Reacher. It wasn't all of these other characters. So it even gives more life to the book, I think, in a way, and this is just me, to use this medium to further flesh out these additional characters and then bring them all in at the end. So this was just great. I thought the pacing was great. It because it's a mystery, it's going to evolve, at a slower pace, especially with all of these intricacies that are in it. So it was perfectly paced. I really like I said, so my only criticisms is not enough Reacher in the suit.
I agree. There could have been a little bit more of that, although he did get a lot of screen time. He was on the screen a lot.
He did. He did.
So I did like that. And about the only thing missing now is that I'd love to go to Jolene's with you just to celebrate. You know, this has been such a great.
I
I
would,
just love
oh, I
to.
would so love that. I would
Yeah,
so love that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Just yeah,
chill.
we're gonna have to do that.
We are. We are. Oh, folks, well, as usual, this watch party series come to an end, but,
Mhm.
but, new show with myself and with her,
Yes.
titled Toxic Male Appreciation, which will air exclusively here on Twitch live. So starting
Mhm.
next Thursday, and it'll be a surprise whose subject is going to be. But definitely, please do join us next week to kick off our live show, Toxic Male Appreciation. Toxic male in brackets because it's not what people think.
Mhm.
Not what people think at all. We are definitely not going to shame you for
No.
being a toxic male. We're actually going to appreciate you. Isn't that it? Mm-mm.
Absolutely. It's a lot
Yes.
of appreciation, a lot of love, a
Mhm.
lot of praise,
Mhm.
and a lot of pleasure, honestly, a lot of enjoyment in um,
Mhm.
looking at all the wonderful males out there that we know and love in entertainment.
Exactly. Exactly. So we are so excited about this show. Hope that you will join us next week, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Mhm.
We will see you next time. And thank you so much for hanging out with this watch party series. This is
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely amazing. So, folks, please do follow also known as Positive Fandom here on Twitch. And please also follow me over here on Twitch. And with that,
Mhm.
we will see you next week. Bye.